Television violence that children see while enjoying their show can show a negative impact, or can have a negative impact. Albert Bandura has a theory that through observational learning that a child can observe an action and either take a positive effect or a negative effect and learn from it. If a child is watching a violent television show, they will base their actions now off that experience. McCormick explains that observational learning is a process in which a person observes someone or something and then mimics it later on. There are two types of observational learning, antisocial and prosocial. Antisocial observational learning is when an observer watches a negative impact or a negative effect and then mimics that action. Prosocial is an action that benefits somebody, so an example would be a child reading to a parent. Considering television violence is a negative impact or a negative act, we will be discussing the aspects of antisocial observational learning and how it affects your child and what they are watching with their actions. To fully understand the observational theory, Bandura gave us an experiment. This experiment is called the Bobo doll experiment. Simply Psychology states that Bandura got 72 children and separated them based off their personalities. 24 were aggressive, so they were shown the video of the Bobo doll being beaten. 24 were not aggressive, shown the video of the Bobo doll being played with in a nice manner. And 24 were controlled. There was no doll at all. All 72 were split up equally between boys and girls. McCormick explains that because of this experiment, we are able to expect individuals, mainly children, to learn through imitating others. Simply Psychology indicates that boys were more aggressive towards the dolls. They were more physically aggressive, whereas girls were more verbally aggressive. We're going to show you this video here having Albert Bandura explain his experiment more.
My initial research and observational learning centered on the social modeling of aggression. In our experiment, preschool children observed an adult model beat up an inflated Bobo doll in novel ways. She pummeled it with a mallet, flung it in the air, kicked it repeatedly, and threw it down and beat it. And these novel acts were embellished with hostile remarks. The children were then left in the playroom that had a variety of toys. Now, the children who had observed the aggressive modeling adopted much of it. They even invented new ways for attacking the doll. Children who had not observed the adult model were less aggressive and never hit the Bobo doll in the novel ways that were modeled. The children who had been exposed to the aggressive modeling showed an increased attraction to guns, even though the adult model never used them. At the time we did this research, it was widely believed that seeing others venting aggression would drain away the viewer's aggressive drive. As you can see, exposure to modeled aggression is hardly cathartic. Televised violence has four major effects. It teaches aggressive styles of behavior, weakens restraints over aggression, desensitizes and habituates viewers to human cruelty, and shapes viewers' images of reality. With the enormous advances in the technology of communication, observational learning from the symbolic environment is placing an increasingly powerful role in people's everyday lives. Human attitudes, values, styles of behavior are now being for political and social change. We now have global broadcasts of societal conflicts as they are happening.
Alright. So because of his experiment, we can tell that TV violence does have an impact. And according to McCormick, Bandera's study shows that the antisocial models, which can be either the families, the neighborhoods, or the TVs that the children are involved with, they have antisocial effects. And when we say antisocial, we mean like the behaviors characterized by aggressions towards one another. They can either be the antisocial behavior themselves or the antisocial models that are represented. The Bobo doll experiment shows how aggressive a child can be just through an imitation of television or through family and friends. Marcy Newton states that when her mother became a daycare provider, she was not able to show the cartoon The Power Rangers to her children. This was because the television show portrayed violence. She explained that afterwards the children would be fighting and physically fighting and kicking and expressing hostile actions towards one another, all just because of that one television show shown. Because of Bandera's experiment, in theory, we are able to know that children learn through observational learning. What they observe is then what they will be imitating later. So when watching violence on TV or anywhere, that child will be imitating that action. TV is a huge impact these days for children to observe, so we as adults need to make sure that we are allowing them to observe the acceptable criteria.
We need to let our kids watch war.
Huh?
We need to let our kids watch war.
Yeah, sure. I mean,